Building up authority as a product marketing manager doesn't have to be hard, even though I'm pretty sure it feels that way for you because I've been there. I had a micromanager who really made me feel like everything that I was doing as a product marketing manager was crap. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. Everything I did, it was met with a rebuttal or it was met with some sort of judgment on the quality of my work. And then what was funny was other team members were like, "This is exceptional, Hattie." They were like, "This is such quality work." They were shouting me up on company update meetings. They were really standing up for me, really vouching for me. But this micromanager that I had really made me question if I was actually good. It was kind of a bit of gaslighting involved. So I'm going to quickly explain how we can build up some form of authority and why it's important to build up authority, because it's not about what we know as product marketing managers, but it's about how well we are known within the organization that we work at. Let me explain. We work across so many different teams. We're not like any other job title, especially within tech. Within tech, there's a lot of job titles that are kind of siloed, and that's the way because they need to be focused. They need to knuckle down on what they're working on. They probably work with maybe one or two other teams maximum. We as PMMs, we work across 4, 5, 6, 7 different teams, depending on how it's broken up, especially if marketing is broken up into like ABM, growth marketing, and then general marketing or content marketing. Depending on how it's broken up, we're working across so many different teams at the exact same time, so many different launches at the same time, maybe even different products. I know other PMMs who are working across 2, 3 products at any one time. So there are multiple launches going on with multiple different teams, multiple different stakeholders. Stakeholders meaning the people who are involved and matter for that success of that product. So different people that we need to align with. So again, it's not technically all around the information that we retain in our brain or what we know, but it's about how we conduct ourselves with the other people that we work with so they know it's important. How much influence do we have? How much negotiating power do we have? So then when it comes to a product manager being like, "No, I can't like even take this meeting right now," or a salesperson being like, "Actually, the other product that we're working on has a launch and I think that will generate more revenue." How are we then able to negotiate with that salesperson or the sales team to take our launch as a more important priority than the other product that's also being worked on or also being launched at around the same time? So again, it's about how do we conduct ourselves internally within an organization to build that up. And it's important because if other people that we work with, if they are imperative to the success of a launch, for example, so for example, if salespeople are going to start approaching new prospects, especially large enterprise ones, or if customer support, they have customers that we want to interview, how do we get them to be aligned with us? So then they are doing our work for us in a way of being like, they will do the sales in order to get the product out to market and make sure that people start buying it. How do we get them to work harder on our product than another one that's also launching at the same time? So it's about how do we, as PMMs, holistically sit and think about who are the key people internally that we really want aligned with us? Who are the people who are so well respected? Because I'm pretty sure that there's always a couple people within sales, a couple people within customer success, that if you win them over, you win over the whole team. So who are those really strategic level employees that you need to be aligned with to make sure that if they are on board, other people are on board too. But if they are also not on board, other people aren't on board too. That's super key. And especially when there are new people who are joining the company. So for example, if there's a new salesperson who's just joined the company and they are being trained by another salesperson who's more ahead, who's been here for like 3 to 5 years, whatever, and they're like, "Oh, Hattie, yeah, she does slide decks, so just use her for slide decks." Versus if that same salesperson, if I had built influence and authority with them, and they said, "Oh, Hattie, oh yeah, she's the person who does the market research. She tells us how to message and position our demos and our talk tracks and what we say to customers. So if you want to understand about the customer, speak to Hattie first because she will give you a full rundown, so then you don't fuck it up." And those are two completely different answers, right? But I'm pretty sure that if people don't understand why and what value you're providing and why you're there, then it's a case of like doing the foundational work. Even if you've been at your company for many, many years, it's about doing the foundational work. Because I was at my company, I think 2 years or a year and a half into it when my micromanager was no longer my manager. And I was like, I'm on a crusade to build out my authority because at the same time, layoffs were happening. And I was like, I need to protect myself, man. Like, I don't have rich parents. I don't have a husband. I live alone. I'm like, I need to pay my bills. Like, come on, man. So I went on a crusade to get known internally, to build up my brand and make sure that the right people were aligned with me and therefore aligned with the success of the projects that I was working on. I wanted to provide as much value, like 10 times, 100 times the value on anything that I was working on. I want to make sure that my salary was justified, that they could make back 1 million, 2 million, 10 million on everything that I was conducting, everything that I was doing, and making sure that other team members were aligned with me and my incentives. And also I was aligned with theirs. So if I knew that I could do anything to help them in order to stand out or to be more recognized or to be more respected, I was always, always, always game to do that. So it's not just about take, take, take. It's about how do we give to our other team members. We make their lives easier, make their jobs easier, make sure that they're relayed and seen as a authority figure too. And also that we have their back and they have our back too. So take this into account, start to think about who are the people internally that I need to really just warm up. Maybe they're like a cold lead and therefore we need to make them warm, like a warm lead. But obviously they're a colleague of ours. So one thing that I would recommend is thinking about how can you get the word out about what product marketing is and what is the value that product marketing provides. So I did a product marketing roadshow. Roadshow is just a very fancy way of saying you do a team call with each of the individual teams and explain what product marketing is on that call. So basically, I would join a sales weekly call. I would join a customer support weekly call. I'll do one, for like the 6 months. And then I would just relay and explain again and caveat it with, hey, there are new joiners here, there are new people on the team, and I just wanted to do a recap, a re-review, sort of like a review of a way that what product marketing is and what I do internally, how I can help you and how you can help me. And basically it warms everyone up to be like, oh yeah, there's that Hattie lady, she's doing very well. And also the new people are like, oh, this is an authority figure because she's on the call, everyone's listening to her, and the manager is also listening to her. So if she's here doing a talk, then therefore she's important. I also joined company update calls in order to give updates if and when it was appropriate, because I knew that I was hitting the executive level and the private equity firm involved, and therefore I was getting known by the higher ups, the higher ups. This was a 100 million ARR American firm that I was working at. So I was like, I need to be known by the big dogs, the people who pay my bills. So it's about how do you then utilize yourself and get yourself in front of the right people and make sure that you relay the right information that's super useful, that they're not like, oh, that was a waste of time, or they started to zone out and they were like, whoa, that actually they were switched on and they were like engaged and they were like on the edge of their seat as to everything that you were saying because it was exactly catered towards them. And that's why I like doing a roadshow, because I catered my messaging and what I was saying about product marketing to that individual team. I wouldn't speak to customer support team about sales enablement, for example. Like, why would they care? Why would they want to hear that? I was speaking about it from what I can do for you, what you can do for me, and here's the value I provide, and this is what I'm working on right now, and this is what you should know about the future and what's coming up in the roadmap, and basically giving them a rundown of everything that they want to know. So catering the message, catering our position, like the positioning of product marketing as to what I was doing, but also what the function of product marketing was doing internally. Authority is key. If you want to dive into this, deep dive into this with my help, join productmarketers.com, because this is where I can go into a lot more detail into how do you build up your brand internally, so then everything that you do absolutely slaps and people understand why they should work on your launches, why they should get involved with you, why they should engage with what you're working on, and why they should work hard to get the results that will enable you to showcase a launch is successful, enable you to show that a product marketing driven project absolutely slapped and went up and to the right in terms of ARR because you were able to leverage and kind of warm up the people internally that you know can get you to a very, very good result. So it's not about what you know and what you do, it's about how you are known and how people know how much value you provide internally, and making sure that you get the airtime you deserve. So have a think. If you have any questions, pop them down below. As always, I'm here for you. Join the community if you want. If not, all good. I'm always here on YouTube and also LinkedIn. So follow me there too. All right. Peace out, PML.